up, which she cannot take. It's Friday.
And that's how the chorus begins to one of the most disliked songs on YouTube. It's a song called Friday, sung by a then unknown 13-year-old Rebecca Black. Now, a lot of the reasons why people didn't like this song come down to taste and personal preference. The melody in much of the verse is one note.
7 a.m. waking up in the morning, gotta be fresh, gotta go downstairs.
The lyrics are remarkably pedestrian.
Tomorrow is Saturday, and Sunday comes afterward.
The song wasn't really in the right key.
Friday.
But the reaction to this song and its music video was interesting, in large part because of how it was arguably a sign of the times. What YouTube was like, what internet culture was like, and what we were like in 2011. In other words, if Friday came out today, we would all probably react a lot differently than we did. The earliest years of YouTube were extremely experimental. They had to be. When it was launched in 2005 and then purchased by Google in 2006, nobody could be expected to know what this new platform's role was going to be. All we knew was that it was a free video sharing platform, so people shared videos. A lot of them were home videos.
Johnny, that really hurt.
Other videos were homemade, but were nevertheless more performative. Some actually had an impressive production quality behind them, but one thing that they all had in common was that they were not mainstream entertainment. These were not sitcoms or concerts or the evening news or anything otherwise professional and well-rehearsed. The Bronze Age of YouTube was a very strange media frontier. Everything was either raw or bizarre, or both.
Wow!
By the end of 2010, that was the reputation that YouTube had. That was how we knew the platform at the beginning of the decade.
It all started in 2010. Going back into 8th grade, I had noticed that a girl in my grade I was friends with had done this music video sort of a thing. Hey, how did you do that? She had mentioned that it was through this little company. We emailed the company, met up with them. They basically said, we can write you a song, put you in a music video. If you get 100,000 views, you can start making money from it. Whatever, I just want the experience. They sent me a song called It's Friday. And it was this cute little song of waking up, going to school, and I was like, yeah, I do that. So I went in, I did the whole spiel of a recording process, learning what it's even like. I didn't even hear the song until I got on set for the music video. It wasn't really this big glamorous ordeal or anything like that. A month went by and honestly, I had no idea where it was. Oh, I wonder when I'll see it.
On February 10th, 2011, the Friday music video was uploaded to YouTube by Arc Music Factory. And in the days following its release, nothing happened. Nothing was really expected to happen. Arc Music Factory's business model was essentially to write, record, and produce a pop song for young, aspiring teenagers whose parents were willing to pay a few $1,000s for the experience. The video was not intended nor expected to go viral. Then again, they never are. But this was different. There was something special about this video compared to all the viral videos that came before it. It's hard to remember at times, but way back in 2011, mainstream content and online content were not one and the same. They were two different worlds. Both existed on YouTube, but they were seen and treated differently. Mainstream content would be clips from movies or TV shows, popular music videos, funny Super Bowl commercials, the sort of stuff that you would see on television, just uploaded to YouTube. Online content were genuine YouTube videos, home videos, weird rants,
Leave Brittany alone!
offbeat cartoons,
Put a banana in
I'd rather keep my ear clear.
The sort of stuff that you would never see on television because it just wasn't normal mainstream entertainment. And we all understood the difference. We all understood that the Baby music video was mainstream content, whereas the Shoes music video was online content. One is an ordinary big budget song meant for a general audience. The other is a wacky low to no budget song meant for a quirky audience. But then, in March of 2011, Friday went viral. And a lot of us, when we saw it for the first time, were confused. What was this? Was this supposed to be a mainstream music video by an up-and-coming pop sensation with a major label behind her? Or was it supposed to be a joke made by a bunch of teenagers in their spare time? It didn't look like either. It was funny, but it wasn't trying to be funny. It was low budget, but it clearly had a budget. It seemed professional, yet somehow amateur at the same time. Friday didn't fit into either one of these two categories that 6-year-old YouTube was known for. It turned out to be a recipe for disaster. People reacted to this video in the same way that the human body reacts to a virus.
One day, which literally was a Friday, I went to the video and it definitely had 3 times the amount of views that it had a few days ago. Comments were starting to come a bit more, and they were definitely all making fun of me, making fun of the song. Now, Good Morning America wants to talk about something.
The music video went viral after it was blasted as the worst song ever. We just said that, and here's the numbers: 16 million hits online.
I'm going to read you just some of the comments that people have been saying online. They're not nice.
No.
Her song Friday is the worst song I've ever heard in my entire life. Even deaf people are complaining.
Okay.
It's gonna be stuck in my head for life. Friday, 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 OMG.
That's the point of it. It's a catchy song.
What's the meanest thing you've read that maybe hurt you the most?
I hope you cut yourself, and I hope you get an eating disorder so you'll look pretty, and I hope you go cut and die.
The reaction didn't really make sense. Sure, this was not a good song, but calling it the worst song ever when it was hardly any more idiotic than any other pop song
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Party every Friday.
requires an explanation. Why did so many people get so upset over this video just because it hovered awkwardly between the only 2 umbrella categories of that era? The most interesting theory, or argument in defense of the backlash, would be to say that people in 2011 didn't want YouTube to become a polished place. For decades, we had movies, we had TV shows, we had music videos, and now we had this website. And we loved it. YouTube was an alternative. It was a new frontier that we could go to find something unique and out of the box. So a teenage girl singing a by-the-book pop song about the weekend was very out of place on YouTube circa 2011. People came to YouTube to escape this kind of content. They wanted something that came from the heart and from the home. Something too unique and or inappropriate to be found anywhere else. Something that wouldn't have too many cooks in the kitchen. Friday was one of the first, if not the first viral video on YouTube to be none of these things. And that might explain the backlash. Which was kinda stupid in hindsight because Rebecca Black did not write the song, nor did she produce the video. And even if she did write the song, it wouldn't really be that bad for a 13-year-old's first go at it. Funny enough, the parodies of Friday did fit into one of these 2 categories. There were parodies on mainstream television networks by people like Conan O'Brien.
3 days out from Monday, a full week from Thursday, a fortnight from the next.
And there were parodies uploaded by unknown teenagers shooting with a camcorder with no budget or network behind them.
Fun, 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 having fun.
Things stayed relatively the same after this video went viral. Friday did not single-handedly change the image of YouTube, but it was a sign of things to come. This new frontier, like any other, would eventually be tamed. Online content would eventually become mainstream content. The old guard of television programming would eventually set up shop with their own YouTube channels. More than that, the priorities of people who came to YouTube would also change throughout the decade. The days of watching individual freak show videos would give way to the days when most YouTube channels were bona fide brands, run like a business. The original 2 categories of content would give way to a multitude of genres, including gaming, beauty, daily vlogging, family vlogging, song covers, news and current events, cooking, tutorials, history, science, politics, animation, and ASMR, among many others.
Today we're gonna buy every item in this store.
To give you even more of an idea of how different YouTube was in 2011, this was before Snapchat, Vine, Tinder, and TikTok. Before Gangnam Style, Wrecking Ball, and It's Everyday Bro. Before Occupy Wall Street, Coney 2012, Edward Snowden revealing NSA spying, and the emergence of ISIS. Before the spike in social media and opioid addiction, before #MeToo, before mass shootings became commonplace, before the wildfires in California, Australia, and the Amazon rainforest, and before the 2016 presidential election. If some 13-year-old popped out of nowhere singing about Sunday coming after Saturday and which seat in a car she could possibly sit in, today, in 2020, we probably wouldn't be that bothered by it. Over the past decade, the world has become gradually scarier, and we have become more sophisticated in how we digest online content. If Friday came out today, instead of getting angry, we'd probably approach it with a lot more humor. And that's a nice thought. It's nice to think that as the years go by, we get more and more used to this once strange and unsettled frontier. That with experience, we get a little bit better at reacting to and discussing what we see on YouTube. Regardless of how far we've come and where we're going, Friday is, whether we like it or not, a little piece of online history. A little piece of cultural history, perhaps. A token of a different time and how we were a little different during those times. What was your opinion of Friday when it came out? And if you're convinced that we would react differently if it came out today, what do you think that says about us and about YouTube? Please feel free to make all of your thoughts known in the comments down below. Hopefully you have enjoyed this little trip down memory lane. And hopefully we've got a pretty good decade ahead of us in the 20s.
Come on, come on.
2, 3. It's Friday, Friday. You gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend. Partying, partying.
Yeah!
Partying, partying.
Yeah! Go check out my new song, Monday.